Good morning, everybody, and a happy Wednesday morning to you. As usual, we have a lot going on, and Meghan is being accused of having sticky fingers. That's right. Apparently, she likes to steal clothing. There's a lot in here. You guys know what I'm saying, so let's just jump and get busy, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start with the fact that Catherine got an apology from the BBC because remember, during the Armistice Day service, they kept calling her Kate Middleton. People complained. Oh my God, did they complain? And the BBC actually issued an apology. This seems to be their time for apologies because they also apologized to Trump. Can you imagine? All right, I showed you this picture the other day, but some more information came out and some more pictures. So Lady Helen Taylor stepped out with some friends in support of a charity Wednesday night. She's the daughter of the Duke of Kent and the late Duchess of Kent. She joined Helena Bonham Carter for the launch of the Ever After Garden, which lights up Chelsea's Duke of York Square with over 30,000 illuminated white roses in support of the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity. This event was created in 2019 following the loss of a good friend, Michael Howells, who was a trustee of the Royal Marsden. Let's move on now to Secret Weapon Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh. She's on her next leg of her South and Central America tour. She touched down in Belize on November 16th. She was met by the Governor General of Belize, Dame Froila Zelam, and Amalia Maya, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. She looked absolutely gorgeous in this floral V-shaped neck with pink lipstick. People weren't used to seeing her like that, with the frilly sleeves and a cinched waist. I don't usually go into the style, but she looked really, really, really good. And she got off the plane and she stood while they played the British national anthem. And then she stood there while the band played the national anthem of, Belize. She arrived officially at the Philip Goldson International Airport on Sunday night. Now, her visit, which was coordinated by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade, Culture, and Immigration, is part of this huge tour. And one of the things that she did was visit the Belize Council for the Visually Impaired and the House of Culture. She plans to engage with initiatives that are focused on eye health, the empowerment of Indigenous women, the preservation of Belize's barrier reef, and their discussions are also going to cover strengthening the bilateral ties between Belize and the United Kingdom. Now, there's a lot of visits. Unfortunately, I can't cover everything, but I'm going to do the best I can. Mainstream media, once again, is not really covering this. Now, I believe it was the very next day where Sophie went to tour an ancient Mayan city with an actual archaeologist. This city spans 16 square kilometers. It forms part of the 1 million hectare Mayan Biosphere Reserve, which was established to protect the region's dense forest. It's actually in the Tikal National Park, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's well known for its archaeological significance and biodiversity. This visit was meant to highlight the importance of preserving cultural heritage and protecting nature. A big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for showing us both outfits that Sophie was wearing on those particular days. Let's continue. We're moving on to Edward, Sophie's fabulous husband. He met President Bola Tinubu on Monday, and he told the Duke of Edinburgh that various reforms targeted at strengthening the economy and relevant institutions will secure the future of Nigerian youth and empower them with the skills that will make them globally competitive. The president received Edward at the State House in Abuja, and he noted that youths remain central to the repositioning of the economy, and their ownership of the key reforms will lead Nigeria into a great future. Edward was there to brief the president about the international award that was going to take place in Lagos. And the president informed Edward that they would be participating in the G20. And it's the third time that Africa is hosting the G20. And the central issue is about youth and strengthening the economy for the youth. He informed Edward that they have a special education loan fund now that ensures no one is left behind, and also that they're laying fiber optics and other infrastructure projects that will promote access and inclusion of young people in the country's development. Let's move on now to some of our Harry-Meghan stuff. There are speculative reports out from anonymous sources and royal experts that are saying that a, quote, shadowy establishment group or powerful network of political and establishment figures is backing Harry and Meghan in an attempt to bring them back into the monarchy. I don't think the monarchy would allow them back, and I don't think the public would allow them back. It's nicknamed Project Thaw. We've heard about that one before, but now they're reporting it's being supported by influential allies in Westminster and people inside the palace. And the motivation is for the couple to act as an anarchic element to bring change or even smash the royal family to smithereens. What I find interesting is that people actually think that an institution that's been around for how long can be smashed by Meghan Markle. She's a blip in history, people, that's all. All right, I'm bringing this up again. I'm going to start calling it Phonegate because that's basically what it is. Prince Harry has had a really bad week, just so you know, with the whole Kardashian thing and with the palace, disputing his claims about his Toronto trip. He says he told the palace denies being notified in advance. They're refuting it, saying they got no advance notice of the trip. And people are like, really? And Harry's office, we know, has refused to reveal when the warning was given or the notice was given, to whom, when, exactly. And now it's reignited the whole recollections may vary, which came out from the Queen. Remember that? So while the family is dealing with Andrew and the fallout from that, here comes Harry giving them another headache. And instead of showing what an asset he could be, which I think is what he was trying to do, he's just upset the powers that be by hijacking William's most important week of the year and then lying about it. Now, it very well may be that the Toronto trip was long in the planning, but why not keep the palace in the loop about it if that's the case? This reminds me about something inside So Strong from Twitter. This person pointed out, it's just like when he asked the Queen's permission to name his daughter after her, understanding it would be Elizabeth, not her nickname. Just like he recently vowed not to discuss his meeting with the king with the press, and then all this information came out. Just like he said he wouldn't commercialize his titles. Just like they said they would shut down Sussex Royal, which they never did. Just like when they said that they didn't have anything to do with Finding Freedom, and then the emails came out, showing that they did. Harry is a serial liar. Now, in the meantime, in this next article, I can kind of believe they're saying that William is upset because King Charles decided to push Princess Beatrice, Andrew's daughter, right into, forward-facing public duties. And William is concerned that this is going to drag the monarchy into more disgrace, and he really opposes, they're saying, Beatrice's return because she doesn't want to be a full-time working royal. It's being reported that Charles personally rubber-stamped Beatrice's new patronage with Outward Bound Trust, and he's the one that sent her to the hospital visit in London, which is her first major solo outing in years. And the idea behind this is William wanted the Yorks out of sight until the King's next health review, but Charles thinks that this might help the public heal, seeing Beatrice out and about and doing her work. And she did recently pop out in London. She was talking about her daughter Athena's premature birth, how it can be a lonely experience. She wants increased research and support into prematurity. And she's fronting a campaign for the research charity Born. We just talked about that the other day. Now, another YouTuber called Lauren the Insider pointed out that one week Beatrice was pictured looking exhausted and down, and the next week she's leaning on philanthropy to polish the family image. Beatrice actually hasn't done anything for the charity Born. She did a Vogue essay about her own experience, as if premature birth is an issue reserved for the wealthy and well-connected. And what this woman on Twitter said is this isn't charity work, it's image management. She brings nothing meaningful to the table. I have to agree, she's not a working royal. She should not have been pushed to the forefront. So, if what this article said is absolutely true, then I have to side with William on this. Sorry, that's just the way I feel about it. I like Beatrice, but, pick a side. Now, people are saying that Princess Beatrice's intentions are sincere, fronting this campaign for the premature birth charity. However, what they're also saying is that she should be lying low rather than putting her head up, in what's being seen as an attempt to rehab the family name. Now, a big thank you to the Prince and Princess of Wales fan. This might make you sad or happy, depending. Well, let's move on to Andrew. Things are changing, and it's starting with Windsor Castle. He apparently went on his first visit since he lost his title, and he was not saluted by the guards. He didn't get the customary bows that he was offered at every turn. Woe be to anybody who forgot. Those are gone, and some are even calling him Mr. Mountbatten Windsor instead of Your Highness. Apparently, he also had the option of having meals sent over right from the castle instead of Uber Eats or DoorDash, and that has also been withdrawn. Ooh, I bet that one stung. Of course, the teddy bears were going to come, into view. Apparently, Andrew is refusing to pack up his extensive teddy bear collection, which is well known. He is reportedly refusing to move out of Royal Lodge until all of his comforts, including the collection, are guaranteed to be maintained, which apparently is a real point of frustration for King Charles. So he won't pack them up, okay? He's clinging to the former privileges. He won't move until the living arrangements are fully secured. And we know that this teddy bear collection has long been a topic of discussion because there are reports detailing how staff would have to arrange them in a specific order on his bed, and he would get angry if they were out of place. They actually had to be trained on how to arrange the bears with different configurations for day and night. And Andrew had a reputation for being difficult and grumbling if things were not to his liking. Can you imagine? Sarah Ferguson, in the meantime, they're saying is so lonely because she's been basically cut off from royal circles. She's been dropped from all high society gatherings, that all of her friends are no longer speaking to her, which basically shows that they're not much as far as friends goes. They could quietly support her if they were really good friends. Obviously not. She's been completely sidelined. The invitations have stopped coming. And a socialite once said that she is no longer invited. That's it. She's out. Now, another thing that's being reported is that the Queen's corgis might be taken away from Andrew as he is not capable of caring for them, and the pups need a more stable home and better judgment around them. That'd be interesting. They're saying that Elizabeth would never have left the dogs with them if she had known what was going to happen. All right, two more things about Andrew. First of all, they saw him horseback riding. He broke cover. Guys, leave him alone. He's moving. He's lost it all. This is his one joy, is horseback riding. Stories have come out saying that Andrew's name has been removed from the commemorative plaques in the Falkland Islands. And this erases his name from memorials where he was honored for his military service as a helicopter co-pilot during the 1982 Falkland Wars. A plaque at the KEMH hospital was previously removed in 2022. His name has been removed from the Mount Pleasant Airport and the Infant Junior School in Stanley. You know what? He was a war hero. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree or not, he was a war hero. There's some things I think, he was allowed to keep his medals for being a war hero, and I don't agree that he should be completely erased from the Falklands War. I'm sorry. All right, let's move on to Meghan now. Remember this dress? She wore it in the promo photo for the Netflix holiday special, and it's led back to some allegations that she has sticky fingers because apparently this is the dress that she wore in her 2022 photo shoot that she was accused of stealing. We know why she did it, because she's the Duchess of Sussex and she knows they're not going to say anything to her. So she just thought, I like it, I'll take it. Now, she has a history of taking home these items. Don't forget that while in Toronto, she filmed an ad for Reitman's and she demanded a pair of expensive heels for the photo shoot. And then she took the heels and she was seen wearing them at her engagement to Harry. Now, the journalist who did the interviewing said that sticky fingers at the end of a photo shoot is not unheard of, but they're stunned because you got Meghan, who's living in a 15 million plus mansion, who has $100 million deals, why she would steal stuff from a photo shoot that she can clearly afford. They write, why didn't she just write in her calligraphy, I loved wearing this outfit? And then they would have told her, she could purchase it, or maybe they would have gifted it to her. Why not just do that? But then Meghan doesn't play by the rules. She's a thief, essentially. All right, we're going into our final story for today. You guys know Bethany Frankel, the Real Housewife of New York. I absolutely love her. She's the one who did Skinny Girl Margarita. She's worth like $1 gazillion. Anyway, she got to know Meghan's ex-husband, film producer Trevor Engelson. Now, she had no idea who Meghan was back then, and she claims that Trevor was immediately in no doubt that the Suits actress would marry for the second time and have a royal wedding. And less than 2 years later, he was correct. So she said she had briefly dated Trevor. He's now happily married, by the way, to his second wife, Tracy Kurland. And his previous marriage quickly came up in conversation as they got to know each other. Now, so here's what was said.
We're going to have to talk about the Kris Jenner party, too.
Okay, well, I want to know your thoughts on Meghan and Harry not only being there, but then asking for the photos of them to be deleted.
Because they don't want people to feel that they're hobnobbing with the Kardashians.
Right, but so don't go.
I've met a couple times her ex-husband. I'm sure
Meghan's?
Yes, I met him personally. Whatever, a while
Somebody
ago.
set you up.
We met in the lobby of the Soho House in Chicago and just sort of flirted and then started talking and then met once in LA. Very briefly, we talked about doing a project. He said his ex was a woman from a show called Suits. I didn't know what the show was. I didn't know the woman. Months later, I see pictures in Us Weekly of Harry's dating someone and I text him to be like, is this your ex? And he's like, yup. I go, you think she's going to close? And he's like, oh, she'll close. And I don't want to get into more about that, but he was like, she'll close.
Don't forget that Meghan and her first husband started dating in 2004. They married in 2011, and she wore a dress that looked just like Princess Catherine's. They separated in 2013. They divorced in 2014. Don't forget that she mailed the rings back to him in the mail. She couldn't even face him. Bethany also weighed in over Picturegate, saying that Meghan is trying to be so many different things, and I just don't think she is herself fully aware of who she is. And here she is trying to be front and center at a Kardashian 70th birthday party. It just doesn't work. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Bethany Frankel has a charity called Be Strong. It's a disaster relief initiative, and it partners with Global Empowerment Mission, and they give emergency aid like gift cards, cash, and supplies to victims of natural disasters. Donations go directly to the cause. 100% of funds, 100% are used for disaster relief. I love her. And it's because, just FYI, that Meghan doesn't know who she is, that nobody else knows who she is, and everybody really dislikes and hates her. Hate to say it, but it's true. Oh my God. Okay, I really want your comments on this one. You know I'm reading them, so make them good. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell for all notifications. Then go down into the description box where you'll find the link to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, a link to my second channel, a link to my father's book, which is still up for sale on Amazon, a link to my Amazon wish list, as well as a physical address. For those of you who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.